Right. Peace Moors. We are live. Live in effect. I really want to just talk about some things that I think we can do. Practical things that Moors can do to make the nation progress, to make it move forward, to make it successful. And I just want to discuss that because I see some of the things that people are saying out here when I meet people. I see what people are saying on the internet. I see what Moors are doing. Moors that I know, Moors that I meet, Moors that I don't know, but just, run into. And so I want to kind of bring some of this stuff together and not trying to say I'm the expert, but just say like what we really need to do to be successful as a collective, because you could be successful individually, but if we want to do it together as a group, as a nation, you know what I'm saying? It's going to take more than that. There's some things we're going to have to get on board with collectively. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's some things that we're going to have to get on code with. Do we know what it means to get on code? Like certain things that we just know to do and that we just do across the board because we're Moors, and that's what Moors do. And so I want to talk about some of those things right now. And first off, I just want to mention that I see a brother, one of the Moors, posting stuff online. And he was posting stuff. I guess he's looking at things in the movement, and why it's not working. Like I see him complaining about how the Moors don't really practice Islam. That's a problem. I see him post some stuff like, I think today, talking about grand sheiks sleeping with the women in the temples, which isn't cool. He said some other stuff about, I guess, talking about Moors in prison that I won't say on here. But basically, they're just doing stuff that's un-Islamic, but claiming to be Moorish Americans. Okay? And so without going into detail on that stuff, I just want to speak about how we, as a collective, if we really think that we're going to be successful as a nation, we have to raise the bar. We have to raise the bar. And not just because I said so. It's not because I said so. I don't think it's up to the standard. It's because collectively, we have to be able to get on code. And how better to get on code than to follow the example of our prophet. I know there's people out here who say, I'm a Moor. There were Moors before Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Well, guess what? None of that stuff matters, because there was no one who came and took care of the problems facing our people at that time. There's nobody who came and said, okay, all of y'all, we've all been branded Negroes. That is a slave label. Let's do something about it. Let's set up our communities. Let's get our own economy going, our own businesses. We're going to have our own finance, our own national treasury. We're going to have treasuries in each of our communities. We're going to get our stuff together and start moving as a nation and as a nation of Moorish Americans. Nobody else did that. So that deads all the talk about we Moors, we are Moors, and there was Moors before the prophet. Well, no, there wasn't. Because, they could have existed, but they ain't do nothing about the issue. You'll see people talking about the Zodiac Constitution and all this stuff from CNN, and this stuff came from CM Bay, and CM Bay was up here in Cleveland. CM Bay is the one that had to put out the temple. There's a oral statement from the prophet where they say the prophet asked all the Moors, how many of you, I don't have the exact quote, so don't get me, wrong on this, but the Moors basically saying, how many of y'all follow this stuff? And then the Moors, they raised their hand, he's like, I ought to kill all of y'all. All right? So what really happened is that was up in Temple 7 in Cleveland, Ohio. CM Bay was somehow CM Bay He had gotten into the Adab chamber and was talking to the Moors, and he's teaching them his philosophy, and the Prophet put him out. Bey was never made an Adab either, but he didn't just put him out of the chamber, he put him out of the temple. And he's like, everybody associated with this can go too. Because how you gonna have some guy coming in, Freemason, who, and not knocking Masons or nothing, but just saying, keeping it real, who all of a sudden, I got my own constitution. Where was your constitution before the Prophet? Why weren't you doing something about the issues of our people being, misnomered as Negro, black, and colored before the Prophet? He didn't. They're not knocking him, it's just the truth. Nobody did anything about it. It's easy for someone else to come along with, hey, I got a better way. Y'all follow me. Like, get on up out of here. And so I'm saying this to say, once again, you have all of these other philosophies and things, but none of them did anything about our issues. None of them attacked it and brought us the solution, except for the Prophet. And so with the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, that should be the standard for all Moorish Americans. That's the code that we all get on. We all should follow Prophet Noble Drew Ali to a destiny that is neither uncertain nor unknown. If we're all doing that, you won't have these issues like the brothers complaining about online. You got Grand Sheik sleeping with all the women in the temple. You got other crazy things going on. Nah, if we all follow the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, you don't have any of those issues at all. Because all of that will be stamped out. Because first off, you're not going to have any Grand Sheiks that's unmarried. And I know people will say, but then who are we going to have as our leaders? Well, guess what? If nobody fits the standard, then you can't put somebody in just because they know some of the Prophet's literature or because they know more of the Prophet's, ways than anyone else. That's not how it works. What you do is you train, and when you get some people who are going to follow the Prophet's example, then finally you got people that can serve in them positions. It ain't just choose the lesser of two evils or what. That's what the European does. That's not what we should be doing. It's not just put them in there as we need somebody. No. We need to lift the standard up. And like I said, if we don't have people that's ready, we just train until we have more people who are going to follow the Prophet's example, or maybe those people who are unmarried but have enough understanding, they can finally find themselves a wife and get in alignment Islamically with how they're supposed to be living. Okay? And that's the thing, like, we can't lower the bar, because who set the bar? Who set the standard? The Prophet. When we lower the bar, we have all types of problems, because then we have people who's in these positions and they have their vices, which we all have vices, but we have people who have problems. They know they're not in alignment. They know they're not doing what they're supposed to do. So what do? They look the other way with others not doing their job. So now, instead of us being able to hold each other accountable and help make each other stronger, we all doing our own thing. So we all looking the other way. This dude over here is he's snouting coke. The other dude over here is a womanizer, sleeping with different women, and everybody knows, and everybody's keeping secrets. Who keeps secrets? The Prophet came to lift the covers up on all these secret organizations, keeping all of these secrets, every dirt. That's how you have it in the gangs. When they initiate someone into the gang, they doing a crime so that you got dirt on them. Hey, yeah, we're gonna go rob this store. You're gonna go shoot this person, and then I'm gonna hold the weapon. I'm gonna hold on to it. So I got dirt on you. You ain't gonna tell on me, because I can send you away for a long time. You're not gonna tell on me because I might snitch on you. Like, that's how that stuff is. That's not how we operate. We're all supposed to work to be the best version of ourselves, and to be able to, in love, to have someone on the side like, brother, we're not supposed to do that. and they listen to you. They not looking at you like you're a hypocrite because you know you doing worse than me. That's not gonna work. That's been going on now for decades. And when you look at these temples that's been operating like that, or these groups of Moors that's not in the temple that's operating like that, they don't have anything to show for it. They're not able to build businesses and to grow and actually be doing things in the community to assist, and where others who don't consider themselves would look at who don't consider themselves Moors would look at the Moorish movement and say, hey, that's something I want to be a part of. So that's part of the problem, right? Because we have these people in here who aren't truly following the Prophet. So the Prophet should be the standard across the board. Across the board, that's the issue. So yeah, it's a lot of Moors that's scared of Islam, and trying to make excuses to still be black, to still be Negroes. I'll give you another excuse. Moors want to, and I'm not even gonna say Moors, I'm gonna just say Asiatics. Asiatics wanting to escape reality by being under the influence of some type of substance, whether it's alcohol, weed, or other drugs. And that's a problem, because if you truly follow Prophet Noble Drew Ali, now you already know that we not down with any intoxicants. And I know Moors are so addicted to these things that they'll try to make the excuse of, well, weed, well, marijuana, that's not an intoxicant. Well, if you want to say that foolishness, all right, man to man, because it's mostly men saying this stuff, as a real human who's intelligent. If you had a newborn baby, you wouldn't want someone that's high on weed driving that baby around, would you? If you're intelligent, you say hell no, because they're under the influence of something, and depending on what kind of strain of weed they smoking, right? That affects them. If they smoking the type that makes them extra paranoid, now this fool is on the expressway, driving extra slow or being extra paranoid because they saw the sign on the other side of the road say wrong way. And they think they going the wrong way. And they can't make common sense to see that, hey, that's for the people that's on the wrong side of the road, and know that they not driving on the wrong side. Because the weed, they smoking the paranoid strain. And then some, and especially with the stuff now, with the stuff they got, the gummies and all that stuff will have you so out of your mind that you can't drive. You can be out in public, right? But you want to make the case, but no, that's different. No, it's an intoxicant. The Prophet was getting us away from that and away from dependency on these intoxicants, right? Because at the end of the day, it's an escape. We have too much work to do. Moors can't be silly. We can't be getting high and all of that stuff. The Prophet's getting us away from that. And I know, everybody doesn't want to hear this. But that's what it is at the end of the day. Like, if you for real, if you smart, you don't want your little baby in no car with somebody that's high on weed or anything else, because it is what it is. All right? It messes with your brain. And so that's another thing. You gotta clean house. So that means we need Moors. We need those Moors who are male and female, who are going to be upright, independent, and fearless, who can get away from the trend, because the Negro trend is to get high. The Negro trend is to get drunk. The Negro trends are so stupid. There's a video circulating online where they show some Asiatics who identify as black at the club, dude pouring out the liquor, just pouring it on the floor. I guess the floss show how he got money, right? And then everybody else in the club doing it too, right, to flex. Right, which is stupid, but that's the Negro trend. Get high, get drunk, floss, flex, smoke weed every day, right? To just do it. That's the Negro trend. Moors aren't even supposed to be concerned with that stuff. And even if we're used to it, we have to kick those habits. We have to toss it to the side. We have to follow our Prophet. It may, depending on how how deep our dependencies on that type of behavior and mindset is, it may be harder for some of us to kick it. But here's the thing, if we're not ready to kick those habits, we are definitely not ready for leadership. You got to think about this, because when people, I know it might sound like I'm picking on people, but if you're on the weed, you high, and you out here doing things, and you paranoid, you can't make good decisions. You're out here making foolish decisions. You're getting too angry. You shouldn't be that angry about something, but you can't make that determination because you're under the influence of something. And since because you got people that got to do it every day, since you're never clear-headed and clear thinking, you can't even see that a lot of the decisions you make are negatively influenced by you being on a substance all the time, right? Like, what do you need to do every day besides breathe oxygen, drink water? There's only a few things. So like these are dependencies that Prophet really had a heavy, burden, a hard job to do, to come to us, these people, to help them to clean themselves up. We have a lot of issues, and if we're not willing to give those issues up, we passing the burden on to the grandchildren. Not even the children, we passing it on to the next generation. Like, okay, y'all gonna have to figure it out. And they've already been bombarded with trash, because in the schools, they're now telling them that gender is a choice, when everybody knows that the Creator only made 2 genders. That's common sense. But they're confusing them, and even though it's common sense, they've scared the rest of the world to the point where everybody is so scared, so weak, so nervous that you won't even utter those words out loud, because you might get canceled. You might get fired just for telling the truth. That's where we're at. And so this is the world that we're allowing to take place. That's just making it even harder on the next generation. There's even more confusion on top of the mess that we already dealing with. And if you want to get high, get drunk, you want to deal with all the Negro problems, Negro issues that we already have, you want to try to bring that into the Moorish movement, how do you think things are going to progress? Right? All right, we dropping the ball too, because they're able to do this now. They're able to teach these crazy things in the school now, to take things even more backwards and to make people even more fearful of speaking the truth and living the truth. All right, that's crazy. That's backwards. But the society is falling, okay? So I'm only saying this to say there's no way around the Prophet and around following our laws, our order, our structure. There's no way around it. It's even to the point now where, somebody's saying they're more, it's like, okay, you follow Prophet Noble Drew Ali, because if they don't, unless you're willing to learn, if you don't, there ain't really nothing we can do together. Can't trust you. You'd be a fool to trust somebody because of the shade of their skin. All right? So we can't leave those things out. Just wanted to reiterate that, or just to share that, because that's the key to the picture. That's the missing picture, or the missing key. That's the missing link, right? For anyone that wants more information, you can reach out to us. We have a temple here. You can go to MoorishAmericans.com, MoorishAmericans.com. Go there, link up with us, get on Zoom to attend meetings with us every Friday, every Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Learn what we're supposed to be doing, what we stand on, learn our laws, learn our way of life, because we can't nigger rig this. I'm a Moor, and it's going to somehow work. We can't nigger rig this. We have to do it for real. We have to come all the way in to the movement. The Prophet declared our independence. declared our independence, removed our mind state from the bondage that we were in, from thinking like other people, give us our own way of seeing the world, and then also took care of our earthly needs, like physically. We have a way, to work together to build our nation, right? But mentally removing ourselves from that and going all the way in, right? I'm a Muslim. Yeah, I'm putting the El Bay on my name. Going all the way in. There's no way around it. You can't fake it. You can't just put a Band-Aid on it. You can't just sag your pants and, say a couple Islams and things like that and everything's good now. That's not how it works, right? You have to leave all of that Negro stuff behind. And I'm only saying that to say that, from what we see, what we witness, what other Moors are seeing and witnessing as well, that's the only thing that's holding things back as a collective. All right. One other thing too that I wanted to speak on. Let's see. Hey, can you read this comment? Hold up. Let me get that for you. So one last thing. Okay, there it is. Will you read what that person said and then said?
Alright, it says, there has been an international attack on our culture, identity, ancestors, and women from all melanated ethnic groups, but we're the ones going too far for defending ourselves.
Okay, so this was a video that was just put up on this channel just recently. You can go and check it out. It says like FBA, like the Foundational Black Americans, whatever they call themselves, are going too far. Because they trying to they trying to attack all the other Asiatics, like the Caribbeans and people from Africa. All right. And so I was just writing that. Now this person put that comment on there, just saying we under attack from everybody, all the melanated people attacking us. Right? Can you read what I said in response?
You said stop being a victim, an international victim, under attack from everyone at that. Right. Now there's popular videos circulating, like you said, about the Black Americans pouring out liquor on the floor, trying to flex, trying to show that they got resources to waste. And it's like,
and want people to feel sorry for you.
Yeah, you're in the club and you're pouring out liquor on the floor. All somebody gotta do really is drop one cigarette and poof, y'all all burning up.
And everybody knows at the club the liquor is like 3, 4, 5 times what it costs in the store. Like, you just buying it to flex for no reason.
So that's not even a smart meeting. That's not even a smart flex, first of all. And like you said, like the trends
but you're a victim.
They're dumb. And that just shows that our people are immature. And you don't really have any values or morals. You're not thinking far enough ahead into the future to say, hey, maybe we should start building.
Are we live
something.
Still? Because it looks like I don't know when the connection went out. But
it's still showing that it's going.
I just had to re-hit it. So I don't know what y'all missed, but we just gonna keep moving.
Yeah, you said we have to stop being Black victims and become Moors that stand up on their divine principles and have dignity and respect. Moors are men and women that are upright, independent, and fearless. We're in the wrong place if we want sympathy for Black slave culture and slave mentality. Moors cannot be slaves. Moors are the creators of civilization. Moors don't sag their pants and do all this, stuff that is looked down upon in all cultures, all societies, all over the world. Nobody wants to see your ass. Nobody wants to hear your foul mouth. Nobody wants to be around your disrespectful, your disrespect and your ignorance. Nobody likes ignorance. It's not funny. It's only funny to us is because, we think everything is a joke. We don't take ourselves seriously. So when you don't take yourself seriously, nobody is going to take you seriously. It doesn't matter how much you cry about it, nobody takes you seriously because you have not shown and proved to yourself and to others and to the world that you are a force to be reckoned with. And until you get right, get your mind right, and look the part of an adult, first of all, stop being childish and petty, because that just shows the immaturity and the lack of professionalism.
Yeah, and one thing to that too, like you got people that think they're smart that's online complaining about their opposite gender, like the women, the black women, the black men, online complaining about each other and acting like they gotta go date out the country, date outside their race. It's like, fool, you're on the internet telling people that you got this internal issue and you can't do nothing about it. How weak is that? Right? That's like if the Vietnamese men were all making, and it's not just one doing it. You got a whole community of them online complaining about the Vietnamese women. They're out of control. They're all materialistic. They don't love us. That would be foolish. And not just one or two of them, thousands, tens, and maybe hundreds of thousands of them complaining.
And you know why?
About we need to get passports and go to other countries.
You know why they won't do that? Because that reflects bad on them as men. As men in a society, it is your duty to provide and protect.
Like, who the hell you complaining to? And then, like she said, is the men. Who the hell is the man complaining to? The buck's supposed to stop here with us. So who the hell are you complaining to? Somebody come and save us. White man, come and save us. Give us better women. Like what? Get our women under control. Like what the dude? What are you doing? You handle it and shut up. Shut up and handle it.
But we call that clickbait, because it's like in marketing, that was baited to us. It was part of a program that was put out there, for our people to get and to run with. And so it's a program.
You're running with it like a chicken with your head cut off.
Yes.
Because some of you, even some of the more you entertaining and stuff, like, are you crazy? You're not independent, upright, and fearless. If you can't control your woman, right? Not trying to be like a jerk with it, but for real, man, just keeping it real. If you can't get that situation under control internally without doing something stupid that's gonna ruin your life, you're a fool, and you're weak, and you're a slave, and you need other people's help. You need other people to come and save us. I'm not a man yet. I need somebody to help me. Can't nobody help you. Nobody cares. If anything, it makes other people feel better because they can laugh at you because you got problems and you can't handle it yourself. When knowing nobody cares. So it's like, those things, they cannot exist in a Moorish American nation. They can't. Moorish Americans can't have Negro problems and follow trends and do what other people are doing. All right? We don't wear a fez or a turban because it's trendy, right? I'm not wearing this because it's cool. I'm not wearing this because I want some teenager to think I'm cool. You think I care at all what some goofball thinks? We're not doing it because it's cool. And that's the mentality that a lot of people still have, and that's a slave mentality. That is a victim mentality. You can't be a Moor and be a victim at the same time. You can't. Those two things can't exist at the same time. They can't. And so that means that many of us, even who want to identify as Moors, it's an oxymoron. You can't, those two things can't exist at the same time because you're still a victim. All right? And because you still have those tendencies. If you're addicted to drugs, and you may not see yourself as addicted, but if you gotta smoke weed every day, every week, every month, all right, you haven't truly kicked the habit and came in and being a Moor. If you still gotta drink on a regular basis, drink alcohol, You haven't truly kicked the habit and came in and been a Moor. You're not really a Muslim. You don't submit to the will of Allah. You don't trust your prophet when he told you we got to get rid of all that stuff. All right? You know, these are serious things. You know, all of us should work to to grow, to be able to be married and be, well, maybe marriage ain't for everybody, but most of us should, and especially Moorish leaders. And we should not accept any leaders who cannot handle this and maintain a relationship with the opposite sex. That's Asiatic. Because that's the other thing. When we have these low standards, that's why we see the situations where they'll even have leaders that's married to Europeans. And how the hell are you going to have in the temple a grand sheik that's married to a European? When you know what it says in chapter 48. You know what it says. All right? There's no reason. But once again, that's with the secrecy now. We all got these terrible things that we not supposed to be doing as Moorish American leaders, but we doing it, so we ain't gonna bust no grapes. We not gonna uphold the prophet. The grand body is supposed to enforce the law with the assistance of the grand sheik and assistant grand sheik. What if the grand sheik and assistant grand sheik got a law? How is the grand body gonna enforce it if everybody is not even trying their best to live up to the prophet? If everybody's not trying to follow that example, so they all got secrets and they're not going to uphold it, that's a problem. You got to kick that stuff out. You got to clean house. You got to start all the way over. And if the Moors aren't going to do that, you're just passing the burden on to the grandchildren, and the grandchildren are getting attacked from every direction, and it's ridiculous. They teaching all types of, mess in the schools. They just, ain't no telling how crazy it's going to be if we don't step up and do what we're supposed to. All that we know is that society is going down in the wrong direction. So it's not the type of thing where you want to kick the can down the road and put the burden on the young and the yet unborn. All right, that's weak. That's pitiful. Why would anyone want to do that? And so just saying that to say that Moors, we got to step up. And if you're watching this, you really do need to study the prophet, get the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, get the Divine Constitution and Bylaws, and get Moorish literature. And study with a temple. Like I said before, go to MoorishAmericans.com, link up with us. You want to study with us, also donate to the temple because it takes finances to uplift the nation. But study with us, work to help build this. We want to train leaders and train them all over the world, all over the nation, because we got a lot of cleaning up to do. And if you know what the example is, you know what the standard is by the prophet, you're not going to accept this piss poor leadership. It is not going to fly anymore. We have to raise the standard amongst the people in order to change this. All right? Nobody can tell you their title and impress you. We're more impressed with the fact that you actually submit to the will of Allah and follow in divine instructions. And that's really, that's really all I wanted to say and just to share, because if we do that, we can change everything within 12 to 24 months. Not even 2 whole years, we can change everything. But we got to know we have to have a goal, and we have to have a strategy to get there. And so what all of us collectively should have for the goals should be what the prophet set up for us. And the strategy is the divine plan of the ages. And we can follow that and get in alignment if we are following our prophet. And then we won't accept piss poor leadership. We won't accept leaders who don't even accept Noble Drew Ali as a prophet, who trying to come up with all these other reasons why he's not a prophet. Want to tell us what the foreigners are saying. Like we care, and all types of other reasons and things that we should never accept, things that we should never be going for. Okay? But on that note, though, Moors, if we get in alignment and do what we're supposed to do, we can change everything in a blink of an eye. Peace, Moors. Make sure you like and share this video.